the Fumba tariff set by the Electricity Regulatory Authority.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 25th day of September 2022. Now, before we get into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories of the night. Top stories tonight: thugs rob a seed school in Kabarole of its computers. NRM Women League Southern Africa chapter discuss diaspora partnership. Story behind Uganda's historical monuments. And Uganda bags 46 medals at All Africa Para Badminton. Good evening once again. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto. Now, in tonight's news, the government chief whip, also a Jury County Member of Parliament, Dennis Hamsonubua, has challenged local council chairpersons who received bicycles from government to ensure effective delivery of government programs. He was delivering 794 bicycles for Leptong district. Obua said the bicycles, which were procured by government to ease the mobility of LCs in mobilization and monitoring of government programs.
From all villages in Leptong districts, they all came to receive their bicycles. It was a president's pledge to give all the LC1s and 2s bicycles for their great contribution in mobilizing the community and monitoring of government programs. In Leptong district, 794 bikes were displayed at the district headquarters, and the LCs joyfully marched and picked their choices. The chairperson, LC1 of Bangeo village, Moses Odunwa, explains that the bikes will address their perennial challenge of mobility within the community.
Eka o chamo romulungu jo wale sub county tenu gi wot pe kitamir tun kere yor beda pe tunu le emi jomi dushu no petiye kakara ete chani adon galetieni aneno bala ti abera yor.
Santa Uma, who also received a new bike, says now that their transport is sorted, government should also consider increasing their pay.
Ame kongo miyo gi dir moro, nyu miyo gi ginoro. Ame miyo chene beri chingi wek LCP beda chalo ngata me pe beda ko digamete.
A total of 794 bikes were handed over by the government chief whip, also a Jury County Member of Parliament, Dennis Hamsonubua. Obua said the bicycle should ease movement while mobilizing residents to support government programs.
They need to use them to mobilize the community to receive government programs such as the PDM, to mobilize the community to go for vaccination, to mobilize the children to go to schools, among many other programs and activities and projects of government, including monitoring ongoing constructions in schools, both primary and secondary, that are coming into Leptong district.
Obua also sent a strong warning to thieves targeting the new bikes.
Elements within society that will be targeting these properties of the government of Uganda for purposes of stealing them. They need to keep them safe and sound.
Eddie Olua, UBC News.
A seed school in Kabarole has lost its computers to suspected robbers who broke into the school and carried them away. Local government minister Victoria Businje-Rusoke, who also doubles as Kabarole Woman Member of Parliament, has visited St. Paul Nabwea Seed School in Kasenda Sub-County, Kabarole District, after the report of the robbery.
A newly built and equipped seed school, which was yet to be commissioned, has been stripped of its computers by suspected robbers who sneaked into the school under the cover of darkness and carried away the processors.
Try to be observant. If you were very keen, you would have seen suspects lingering around the school. A thief cannot just come randomly without taking serious look, the exit. So we have to be cautious. And our local askaris must be very, very vigilant.
The State Minister for Local Government, Victoria Rusoke, visited the school and pledged to have the heist investigated.
Because would we have left the computers in the bush? Where we carried, we touched, but where someone touched to carry, also touched. So I'm not happy that nothing was done at all. In suspect that the scene had already been tampered with. They touched very many places.
She praised the community for quickly responding to the alarm raised by the school guard during the night, which caused the robbers to abandon some of their loot in a banana plantation. Minister Victoria, however, wants the police to utilize its forensic department to speed up the investigation.
And as leaders, let's follow up very, very quickly. I'm not happy when the district CID says the place was tampered with. Something must have been done. Of all the fingerprints that are captured, when they are taken to mirror, whoever has an identity card has his or her fingerprints there. So you can't rule out after all those fingerprints that maybe they couldn't be one or two strangers.
The minister stated that government has prioritized the study of ICT, especially at secondary school level, and pledged to engage Minister of Energy to light up the school during the night.
Done in the whole country, I'm going to inform the minister, she's very understanding, and the priority will be made to connect us since the poles are there. So I'm going to make a report.
According to Godfrey Businje, the school head teacher, the robbers cut the barbed wire fence to gain access to the school premises. They broke into the IT laboratory window to access the computers. Ruta Gideon and Annette Asasira, both of whom are area councillors, have commended the intervention of Minister Victoria in safeguarding government property. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Uganda Ambassador to South Africa Paul Amoru has asked Ugandans living in South Africa and neighboring countries to embrace trade as a way of creating wealth to boost Uganda's economy. Amoru was addressing an NRM Women League Southern Africa chapter conference in Johannesburg, South Africa.
National Resistance Movement Party Women League in Southern Africa have pledged to continue mobilizing for the party and strengthen ties with South Africa. This was during the ongoing NRM Women League Southern Africa Chapter Trade and Commerce Conference in Johannesburg, South Africa. Uganda's ambassador to South Africa, Paul Amoru, addressed the conference and urged Ugandans in South Africa and the diaspora generally to get involved in business and trade for the betterment of Uganda's economy.
At the embassy, we are focusing more on economic and commercial diplomacy. And the theme of the NRM Women's Meeting addresses specifically this. So we are looking at areas of promoting trade. And in promotion of trade, we need to open markets for Ugandan products, Ugandan commodities, and even services.
The founder NRM Women League Southern Africa Chapter, Nesima Kemiat, says the initiative is aimed at empowering NRM party women to lead better livelihoods.
Ekitegeera kubeera tuyamba abantu mukyala munaffe bwafuna obuzibu tetumulekerera tugezaako okulaba nti tumuyamba tuyina activities ze tukola nga ffe ng'abakyala naye nga twetaaga n'abakyala e Uganda like Women's League.
The patron NRM Southern Africa Chapter Philip Kakuru lauded President Museveni for improvising a computerized service system that enables easy processing of passports and national identity cards.
Conference is a women's conference, a women's league conference. It is a follow-up of other events of the NRM that have been taking place. As you're aware, in 2019, we are the first chapter in the diaspora to endorse the president as our solo candidate for 2021, which we did successfully at the Godled Convention Center. We came after that, after our victory, we held another conference.
The NRM party chairman in South Africa, Ismail Luzike, asked government and URN to tax Ugandan products to South Africa and vice versa for better business transactions.
What we we are here to do is to implement the government program so that this young generation, because most of the young people here, that is where they belong to opposition. But we have tried to advise them, and most of them, they have seen the limelight, and they have realized how good our country is because we are advising them to love Uganda and build Uganda.
The event chief organizer, Norman Nesima, asked men to always support women in business and trade for equitable development.
A woman, once she's given anything small, she can turn it into something big. So if we as men support all the ladies that are in the society or support the women that are in our lives, then we will definitely have to, it will definitely lead to a very developed society, harmonized society, and a lot of good things come.
Ivan Juko, Wycliffe Mudach, UBC News.
The cultural leader of the Lango community, Dr. Michael Odong, has appealed community vigilance against Ebola virus. He was addressing a cultural event in Lira City. He explained that cross-border movement by residents should be avoided to de-escalate Ebola spread.
The Lango culture leader Dr. Michael Dong has asked a culture meeting in Lira City to be alert and avoid any contacts with travelers who might be conveyors of Ebola virus disease. Odong urged Ugandans to place emphasis on health and sanitation, environmental protection and shielding the parish development model resources against graft.
Tony right. Ramai corona na gumerma no corona. Chika meda hatal yo punya meda hatal ya miyo kere gamete ya miyo. Baby, poher kere. Tony right twal. Chil combien métier, no chincha duch. Ane no polu binu kana bo umi. Sanitizer be chok. Body.
The event was also addressed by the Prime Minister, Lango Culture Institution, George Ojwang.
I am urging our people to really take good care of themselves. Take care, always also be using a mask. I have even removed mine, but I have to take back onto masks and take all the precautions that can really prevent us from catching up with this virus.
The head of Ochukuru Gore clan, Jerome Agena, explained that Lango culture institutions play a big role in community development, mainly on issues around health and welfare.
They should take care of that money, because the government is giving money to its people, so that its people can be able to make life out of that money. So I urge the business community to keep that money well. That if it is kept well, it also encourages the government to add more. If it is misused, the government will not be encouraged to add more.
Vincent Wamundo compiled this report.
Uganda National Association of Community and Occupational Health members have embarked on a campaign against mercury use in gold processing. Now, the exercise intention is to save the health of the miners. We have details in this report.
Uganda National Association of Community and Occupational Health have held a campaign in Tira mining area, Busia district, to dissuade miners from application of mercury in gold extraction. The exercise, handled with support from Dialogos, also signed a memorandum of understanding with Busitama University to conduct research, train the miners and produce new ideas and innovations into the mining sector.
Through establishment of an institution like Busitama University, we've been able to sign an MOU with the small scale and and artisanal miners, and we are working on training programs to help build their capacity. So government is following through this to ensure that the artisanal mining is made safe and natural. I think that's one of the most important things.
Margaret Smith from Dialogos says using borax to extract gold has been proved world over as the most human and environment-friendly method compared to the use of mercury.
That we really wanted to show the practicalities of how a method to extract gold without using mercury can work. It's a method which has been working in the Philippines for the last 5 years, 40 years, in Benguet, and here in Uganda we have worked with it for 5 years.
Executive Director, Uganda National Association of Community and Occupational Health, Dr. Deogratius Kaheru Sechimpi, highlighted challenges faced.
Mercury affects the brain of human beings, and especially of children, and more especially of the unborn children.
Abbeka Wandera, the National Coordinator, Global Environment Facility Small Grant Program, said that there is a need to empower the small-scale miners with advanced technology for them to produce quality and high volumes of gold.
The constraints with miners here has been technology transfer and power, electricity. So if we are going to achieve scale, then we thought they need to move away from the traditional mills which are driven by the hands, driven by the spades, so that we put in technology transformation, use electricity, have efficient mills that are grinding, have efficient tools, so that they can get a quantity that makes business sense.
Yiga Muhammad compiled this report.
Now in tonight's Commander-in-Chief Files, we bring you former President Milton Obote presenting the 1983-84 budget speech before Parliament and Cabinet at a ceremony held at Conference Centre in Kampala. President Milton Obote emphasized a drop in prices in basic commodities like sugar, beer, soap and salt.
Welcome to Commander-in-Chief Files, and in this episode of CMC Files, we bring you what the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Dr. Apollo Milton Obote, said when he presented his budget speech to the Right Honourable Speaker, Cabinet, and to Ugandans who were listening in on Radio Uganda. The President emphasized the tremendous reduction in sugar, soap, and beer prices as compared to the nagging times just after the 79 war.
Mr. Speaker, examining the first 2 quarters of the fiscal year 1981-82, prices have been fluctuating to reflect demand and supply conditions. After considerable rises between April and June 1981, the prices of most commodities have tended to fall significantly below the pre-flood June 1981 levels. Due to the regularity in supply, sugar has performed best in the lot, declining by 50% of the pre-flood June level. The actual prices for imported sugar now vary between 150 shillings and 180 shillings per kilogram, compared to an average of 442 shillings in June 1981. The price of other basic commodities such as soap and salt also declined significantly,
ranging between 15 to 37% over the 6-month period, that is July to December 1981. Beer prices declined steadily over the 2 quarters, with a current average of between 250 shillings and 300 shillings per half-liter bottle, depending on the brand and depending on where one buys it from.
The annual budget statement is an official statement by government that depicts the country's income and expenditure over a period of 1 year. It can also highlight tax cuts, increments, and the status of a budget, whether surplus or deficit. Uganda's gross domestic product, GDP, by then was $2.24 billion. Today, Uganda boasts of a GDP of $37.4 billion.
Uganda has transited since the colonial times with several events. Some of these have been adorned in historical monuments to define the country's struggle to attainment of self-rule. As Uganda prepares to mark 60 years of independence on October 9th, UBC Newsroom delves deeply into some of these landmarks, monuments. Take a look.
Monuments are landmarks or statues that depict the history of the past events or put up in commemoration of past historical events and the country's heritage. One of the most significant historical monuments Uganda has is the Independence Monument. Located along Speak Road opposite Standard Chartered Bank, the Independence Monument is the most significant in the political history of Uganda.
It was there when the independence is in place now.
Constructed by Gregory Maloba, the statue that shows a man unwrapping a child and raising it up depicts Uganda's journey in attainment of freedom from the colonialists.
Uganda, we have already developed a lot from that day, from those years.
Sir Edward Frederick Luwangula Mutesa II was Uganda's first ceremonial head of state. Immediately after attainment of self-rule from British, he was elected through a coalition between UPC and Kabaka Yeka in 1963. His statue is found along Speak Road roundabout. Mutesa was also the 35th king of Buganda, who ruled till his death.
The present Kabaka is His Highness Sir Edward William Frederick David Walungembe Mutebi Luangula Mutesa II.
The other significant structure is the World War Monument, said to be the oldest monument in Kampala. The statue is located next to the Central Police Station and depicts memory of both the First and Second World War. The monument signifies disturbing times for the whole world that led to a series of loss of lives of Ugandans who participated in the two wars to support the British forces. The statue was constructed by the British colonial government in 1945 and is printed on the back of the 5,000 shilling note. The other historical monument is the British Friendship Monument at Entebbe on the way to the airport, and it symbolizes the assurance of Uganda never to attack Britain. Another remarkable monument is Captain Lugard Monument at Old Kampala, in memory of the renowned British colonial military agent, Captain Frederick Lugard. While administering Uganda, Captain Lugard journeyed around the Rwenzori Mountains to Lake Edward, mapping a large area of Uganda. The Statue of Leadership was also unveiled in 2002 in tribute of Sir Apollo Kagwa, who was the first Prime Minister of Buganda Kingdom from 1890 to 1926. Sir Apollo Kagwa is remembered for his campaign and fight for the extension of clean water and electricity to Buganda Kingdom. This sculpture is found at Amber House along Kampala Road. The Centenary Monument is located along Ginger Road inside Centenary Park. It was built by Makerere University artist called Sylvia Katende to commemorate Kampala City Council's centenary celebrations. Other monuments include the education monuments found in academic institutions depicting their visions, morals, or missions. The above pieces of history is what Ugandans need to familiar with in their real interpretation, especially the Independence Monument, which is one of the highly profiled and relevant piece depicting a sign of freedom from the colonial master. Susan Naonga reporting for EBC TV.
As Uganda celebrates 60 years of independence, Kampala City has been expanding from 7 hills to 27 hills. The 2014 national census indicates that during the daytime, Kampala City has a population of 6 million people and 2.5 million people at night. Urban development experts claim that despite this unprecedented development, Kampala has over the last 60 years of self-rule been operating and expanding with no specific infrastructural master plan.
The first capital city of Uganda was Entebbe before it was relocated to Kampala to become the capital city of Uganda in March 1962. Kampala initially was a municipality before it was elevated to a capital city. What remains unclear is how Entebbe lost its status of remaining an administrative city to a mere municipality. Available records on the Hansard of the Legico Parliament of Uganda on March 13, 1962 indicates that Kampala was supposed to be a commercial city, not a mixture of both administrative and commercial. Before Uganda attained its independence, Entebbe, which was the capital city of Uganda, had a population of 150,000 to 250,000 people. However, with the resolution of the Legico Parliament on March 13, 1962, that stripped Entebbe of its capital status to Kampala, Kampala at the time was comprised of 5 divisions of Kampala, Kawempe, Makindye, Rubaga and Nakawa, with a population of 800,000 people. Kampala at the time occupied 5 hills of Nakasero, Kololo, Bugolobi, Mulago, Old Kampala, Makerere. However, the biggest population occupying these hills were Asians, British colonial administrators and few elite Ugandans. Slums or the informal settlements also existed, but in an organized way, not scattered as it is to date.
Slums were supposed to be put up out of mud, call it mud and water. You get the point. In other words, they were not being built in permanent materials.
One of the biggest problems that the present leadership of Kampala Capital City Authority faces is failure to upgrade the underground drainage, water and sewerage pipelines that had been designed by colonialists to accommodate a population of 800,000 people to suit the current population pressure of 6 million people that occupy Kampala during daytime, and the figure exponentially drops to 2.5 million people in the night. These underground pipelines could offload liquid residues to Nachivubo Channel, but over the years, these have not been elevated to handle the current population pressure attributed to rural-urban migration. The other dilemma has been the expansion of the road network. Other than rehabilitating what the colonialists, the present city authority, has not done much to build dual carriage roads that can accommodate the current population of Ugandans driving on Kampala roads. This perhaps explains why traffic jam in Kampala City is a menace. More than 1 million vehicles and trucks are driven on roads that had been designed by colonial masters to accommodate traffic of 4,000 vehicles per day. However, some efforts have been done to increase the revenue tax base of Kampala Capital City Authority with the aim of at least making 5 kilometers of tarmac roads every financial year, but to a larger extent, such projects are overshadowed with shoddy works coupled with corruption.
The city, they did not expand that drainage. And the sewage, they've just started expanding it. We have sewage towards Nansana there. We have a new sewage going towards Mukono. We have the old sewage which is at the industrial area here.
Nakasero market was built by colonialists. Food items could be weighed before a price tag is put in this market. The blacks shunned making their way to this market to trade because all that was done in this market to them was discriminative. They opted to start their own market like Shauri Yako, a Swahili word meaning
to whom it may concern for the low-income earners.
Because at that time, when people used to go there, have lunch, particularly the workers or the low-income people, and when they used to ask for water to wash their hands, the food vendors would say, it's up to you, shauri yako, it's your matter.
The markets were being built on a gazetted area. Somebody went and changed that and said that they should be given titles. Titles were given to either groups or individuals, and the problem is big in the markets until today.
Some roads in Kampala to date are still named after the colonial masters to show the history of the city, like Allen Road, De Winton Road, Macnon Road, Prince Charles Drive, Malcolm's Drive in Kololo, and many others. However, this was opposed by the KCCA Council in the 20s, which moved a motion to have names of roads changed and be named after fallen leaders of Kampala, like Sebana Kizito.
Except that some other roads were named according to tradition or to the names. The names were derived from the origin or from the culture, from the traditions of the people here, like Chagwe Road, as I said.
However, the rapid growth and development of Kampala, though often unplanned, has led to demolition of historical colonial sites like the clock tower in Kampala that was erected in remembrance of Queen Elizabeth when she first visited Uganda in 1953. The magnificent clock tower has been replaced by a flyover which former leaders at KCCA were opposed to.
The Queen was here in 1952, and the clock tower was put up in the memory of her visit to Uganda, and of course the structure itself is absent, and maybe people will find it in pictures at the Uganda Museum, but that's not good enough. Where we think we can spare some of the history, I think let us spare.
During the first post-independent Uganda, 30 years transport means was well organized. There was public transport owned by government like Uganda Transport Company. This owned a fleet of buses that could ease public transport in the city. However, with the liberalization of the transport sector, government pulled out of transport business and opened the space for private players. This partly explains the disorganized public transport system administered in Kampala, with several minibuses and border borders disorganizing traffic flow in the city.
Go to motorbikes, and the border caught fire. The whole city is full of border. And some politicians, because they don't want to lose their votes, they don't talk about them, and they tell you to be careful with the border.
Confusion that is found on Kampala Roads cannot be bearable. Some people fear even to drive in Kampala just because of the way things are happening.
The formation of a city authority by law and appointed by the president, operating alongside the political leadership of the city elected by the people and held accountable to the people, was another dilemma that has often caused an administrative crisis and politicization of everything.
We are already following the plans of development in Kampala. And then you throw them out and bring a new set of workers who are not experienced, but because they have got papers, so you think that they will do a good job. And this is now what we are suffering from.
The idea was to have a chairman of an authority, which is like a board. And that chairman would be the mayor for purposes of official duties. Because of that difference, there is a pull and push between the mayor, the minister, and the other mayors of the small divisions.
Kampala capital city is the terminal road. However, the entry point to the capital Kampala remain unplanned, narrow and congested. However, the need to decongest traffic can only be addressed by building bypasses like Northern, Southern and Busega.
Me, I had thought that the flyover over Kampala would be a dual carriageway. But instead, it is, I think, a single carriageway. I don't think it will serve the service for the future, because
haphazard planning coupled with centralization of resources for service delivery are some of the problems that have affected the development of Kampala city 60 years down the road.
the development was moving, so the people's development was moving fast, and the planning was lagging behind, physical planning. To an extent that we started breaking rules.
To sit down and emphasize planning and give these departments the facilities to do the planning.
What happened is that development has overtaken planning. In other words, now people put up structures as they like, and there's no order.
I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Moyingo in Kampala.
The Uganda National Students Association this week asked government to extend the school fees loan to secondary schools in order to benefit vulnerable students. Now, this was revealed by the Executive Secretary, Unsa Cherukut Toskin, during the election of the new council members at Mengo School.
Uganda National Students Association was initiated with the aim of fostering quality education to learners. Government of this cause came up with a students' fees scheme, which grants students school fees loans and paid on completion of their courses. However, WONSA executive says this loan is limited to higher institutions of learning only.
We are thinking that the Higher Education Students Financing Board should be strengthened by government so that money meant for school loans be increased. Apparently they are giving them less than 5 billion. If they can increase it to about 30 billion so that we direct all these students to go and request for loans, not only for university, not only, but even for what? Secondary. That's what we are thinking about, and we are requesting for a meeting with the PS and probably the minister to listen to us.
If this loan scheme can be extended to the students in secondary school, I think it would be very helpful, because some of these disadvantaged students are not able to pay up and they subsequently drop out of school. But if there is this opportunity, I think it would be assisting the learners to excel and enjoy the privilege of having secondary education.
The Executive Secretary WONSA Cherukut Toskin says one of the challenges WONSA is battling is the misplacement of students' results.
Biggest challenges we are facing is head teachers denying students examinations, UNEB exams. That has been the heaviest challenge. So you find students have registered, then along the way, before they sit exams, something happens and then they are suspended. So when they are suspended, they have the option of sitting exams at school, being escorted by probably policemen, or the school allows them to sit exams without what? Escorts.
Like other institutions, WONSA was also affected by COVID-19, especially with the girls who fell victim of teenage pregnancy and could no longer make it to school. The executive has asked government to support it.
One of the impacts of COVID-19 on the girl child was dropout. You see, we saw some female students dropping out of school, some becoming mothers at very tender age, some contracted even diseases. For example, AIDS, because of the COVID situation. So on the issue of COVID, we've partnered with Uganda AIDS Commission to run a campaign of end AIDS within schools.
Students under the WONSA umbrella share benefits of the association towards their study.
One of the grateful moments that I've had as a member of the Uganda National Students Association is that I've gotten to know more about my country. Hence I've developed a spirit of patriotism, love for my country, love for the leaders that we have, and respecting them, because those are the core values that UNSA imparts in its students.
Today it has been such a great honor that we were invited right from last term, and it took me chance and thought to run for this post. As a matter of fact, I am offering biology, chemistry, mathematics, ICT. That's a very hard combination for those that assume to say that way, but I am here to take this sacrifice on, ready to serve the students, ready to serve prior beyond the boundaries of Nabisunsa Girls School.
UNSA has benefited me a lot. UNSA has helped me to build up that self-confidence. It has shown me that I can be a force in changing the nation. It has shown me that together we can stand up as students, we can be recognized, we can also get a say, we can be, some great people in this country.
What I've benefited from it is that it's encouraging me to get
more self-esteem among the students and me myself. It's encouraging me to stand, because if I get voted today, because I'm standing for the post of Secretary for Women Affairs.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Over 500 families with people living with disabilities in the district of Mukono have been blessed with food items worth 30 million Uganda shillings. Now, the donation, which came from Timely Godled Club in their routine outreaches, included food and basic essentials like blankets, beddings, reusable sanitary towels for young girls and women, among others. Living with disabilities of Kasao Rural or Kasao Town Council and Namuganga Sub-County, all in Mukono District, have been with food items and essentials including posho, sugar, rice, blankets, beddings, reusable sanitary pads to the girls and women.
Given out posho or maize flour to our people with disabilities, because we understand that nowadays food is very expensive in our markets, and we've decided as a church, Timely Godled Club, to go and buy food, come distribute to these people one-on-one. And the difference is we reach down to the community. Jesus said, go to where people are and preach to them the word of God. This is another way of preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. Secondly, we brought them blankets. It is cold season. The weather is very cold, and we decided to buy blankets to give them so that they can cover themselves.
The founder and directors of Timely God-Led Club, a charity organization, Pastor Brenda and Emmanuel Binaisa, said that the organization do routine visits to the poor to give them a hand by providing food and household basic needs to the disabled families.
And also we brought reusable sanitary pads for the girl child. You know, these pads we distribute to the people. They are reusable with a guarantee of 18 months. You take this pad.
Pads zino twatuka mu bantu nga wetutunulira abantu bano bambi abaliko obulemu nga wobatunulira nga tebasubula genda kugula pads zino eza buli lunaku n'ogenda n'ogula n'ogamba kati bw'amala ogikozesa ate n'agisuula.
The outreach was joined by Nabitaka Fatuma Ndisaba, Mukono RDC, the area and district councillors who appreciated the organization for remembering the poor always.
We are grateful that the church has honored that obligation of giving out what it received to those persons with disabilities and the vulnerable persons.
Seen them on several occasions, providing to the disabled, to the needy in Mukono district. Even before when COVID-19 had not yet started, we've been seeing these people giving or donating materials to use to the disabled fraternity of Mukono district.
The community also appreciated the continued support rendered to the disability fraternity done every week.
Era yebale kukuma mu bantu ekyamazima ne Katonda mungabilidde mutitewo kubanga tutufu Katonda ali naye mbulira birungi bye bakoledde kubanga mukama mpadde kyembadde sisuubira.
Has registered over 2,000 families of people with disabilities in Greater Mukono and the nearby communities, and provides food, household basic needs and education to the disadvantaged and the needy. It's really great to see a good smile on these people's faces. Continue with the good work. The Member of Parliament, Nyabushozi County, Chiruhura District, Wilson Kanjeje, has donated science textbooks and laboratory equipment as a strategy to promote the teaching of science education in Nyabushozi County secondary schools that are lacking. Kanjeje delivered the donation as part of the pledges he made during political campaign and funds generated during recent fundraising functions.
Secondary schools in Nyabushozi will be equipped with necessary science textbooks, laboratory apparatus and chemicals.
Science education is now comparison. The new curriculum makes it comparison for a student sit for major 4 science subjects at the college. So if we do not do that, that means we are not going to have any education in Nyabushozi. That is the reason I have had to fundraise to purchase laboratory equipment, apparatuses and science reagents and equip our library with science education or instructional material.
He asserted that all the 13 secondary schools that include Karo High School, Bishop's Girls Secondary School, Sid Sapiensis Secondary School, Christian Secondary School Rushere will benefit. He said for Sanga area secondary schools such as Emmanuel Secondary School, Remikunyu Secondary School, Lake Mburo Secondary School will also get.
Government yagezaho kureta ibintu bya sciences kuko muri gihe cy'icureke cyakirugura bitakirugura nakazo ari nabisho mbese nabo sciences aguma zinamana make abo kugira ngo abana b'ingiro bakabaza kuronda ko nabantu n'abandi bebaza so bakoratsa abana umashomera gahwire nkora saga kunuga gumagari y'amana mbe no tabire ndikibegesa kuko cyatwara umwanya ati nambuye no sciences ishamuri rikubanza muri kirugura greta kirugura kwereza sciences ari rero n'uburemba secondary myaka ya 12 almost nabo tukahirwa kutabura izindire twatungara konka mashomero kandi gahora cyane kitakubasa.
UBC News takes a short break, but we return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Get the 4G smartphone of your dreams today and pay as you use. Choose from the Tecno Pop 5 Pro, Tecno Pova Neo, Samsung A03 Core or Nokia C10 and pay conveniently in daily, weekly and monthly installments for a period of a year using Airtel Money. You will also enjoy free 3GB and 100% bonus data on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months. Visit any D-Lite shop or select Airtel Money branches countrywide and get one today. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel, the smartphone net.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs.
Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed, and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions, plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash and now you are on. No waiting. Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Fellow Ugandans, did you know that we are losing wetlands at an alarming rate? Wetlands are the most threatened ecosystems, disappearing 3 times faster than the forests. Dear ones, we risk losing species to extinction and a lot of wetlands at maintaining our environment. Let us all be concerned, conserve, and restore our wetlands. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Uganda National Meteorological Authority, in partnership with the Interreligious Council, with support from Government of Uganda, Green Climate Fund, and the United Nations Development Programme.
It's back! After 2 years away, the Uganda International Trade Fair is back! The Uganda Manufacturers Association excitedly invites you to the 28th Uganda International Trade Fair from October 3rd to October 10th. Visit more than 1,000 manufacturers, traders, distributors, and business people from all sectors at the Uma Showgrounds in Lugogo. We are back to innovation, products, and world-class manufacturing excellence. Entrance fee is 10,000 shillings only. Select manufacturers will offer discounted prices of up to 50%. Enjoy live performances from your favorite artists as we celebrate 60 years of Uganda's independence. To book space, call 0703 552 444.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Tonfera, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center.
This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
Welcome back from that break. And now into the business scene. Declining soil fertility, inadequate supply of improved seed and climate change continue to deprive the Ugandan farmer opportunities for better production and productivity. Uganda ranks among the least in fertilizer application, a thing which has left many farmers with low production.
Avoid using a fertilizer, otherwise we can't get the full potential.
Extension workers trained by Sasakawa Africa Association Fund for Extension Education have held a meeting in Kampala to chart ways geared at improving agricultural production with fertilizer application.
As Ugandans, we have not coined our approaches so well that the farmers are able to take up these new technologies like use of fertilizers. We also have climate change coming in, which involves use of some of these technologies. We have got organic versus inorganic farming. So all these forces are within the communities.
If you want to move one step from subsistence growing to commercial agriculture, then there's no shortcut. You have to go for inorganic agriculture. But if you want to be conservative, or you remain or you produce for home use, and but what you must know is that usually the organic is lower in production but better quality.
a senior agricultural consultant and former seed researcher at Naro Kawanda. Divine Nakede appeals for fertilizer use by farmers for improved produce.
If you are looking for quality and increased production, for example, to get out the full potential of a seed, you need to have a quality seed, you need to have, you add in inorganic fertilizers, and then good soils. Then you can get the full potential of a seed.
According to the new approach by Sasakawa Africa Association, a balance between organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers is under the organization's strategic objective to enhance crop production and soil conservation.
In native agriculture, we are talking about all external inputs using the judicious use of other inputs. Even fertilizers is part of it, pesticides is part of it, herbicides is part of it, but integrating them with the organic materials like a compost.
The extension workers say improving the livelihood of farmers is a key requirement in producing for the market. Striking a balance between improving production and safeguarding the environment is important in food security to cater for the ever-increasing population.
Sasakawa Africa Association works with smallholder farmers to improve their livelihood, food security, and household incomes, as well as nutrition. But on the other hand, we partner with agricultural universities and colleges to build the capacities of extension workers.
Based on the current trends now, is that the farmers need to, first of all, focus on the market trends, look at the market issue, what is available at the market before the farmer can be able to engage in production.
So that Kai Douglas Setumba, UBC News.
All right, we take another short break but return with the sports news.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Airtel is giving you bigger data bundles for the same price. Dial *175# to choose from our range of bigger Chillax bundles that don't expire and stay connected longer to loved ones. Airtel, the smartphone network.
And now on to sports. The second edition of the All Africa Para Badminton Championships has climaxed with Uganda bagging 45 medals, 6 gold, 11 silver and 28 bronze. The week-long competition had 140 Africa Para Badminton athletes competing for gold and the highest ranking on the continent. We have the details.
Uganda completed the second edition of the All Africa Para Badminton Championship with 45 medals after a stellar performance throughout the week-long competition. Uganda had 6 gold medals, coming in behind Egypt that bagged 13. 140 Africa Para Badminton athletes went head-to-head in 6 major categories to claim gold and a top ranking on the continent.
Uganda Olympic Committee would like to congratulate the Uganda Badminton Federation for putting together these 2 international events, the International Open and the Africa Para Badminton Championships. We have had close to 10 countries here from Africa who have taken part in this 2-week-long event, which has ended successfully here. We have hosted these 11 countries, the head of Africa Badminton together with the Secretary General. So we congratulate President Annette and Simon for putting this together. And as you all see, we look forward to seeing how we can support the Uganda Badminton Federation Association to be able to prepare athletes for Paris 2024 and other championships.
We have evolved, we are making a lot of progress compared to the beginning. And I'm quite satisfied because, as you know, para is not an easy sport. It involves a lot of logistics. So it's not that easy, but we are trying to do our best so that to promote para, and we can see the fruit, the result.
Participants Rita Asimwe and Elizabeth Mwesigwa from Uganda, Mohamed Rashid and Shaima Sama from Egypt scooped 2 gold medals each to outshine the rest.
I'm so happy to be here and part of this competition. Actually, now I am ranked number 2 on the world and number 1 on Africa. I'm so happy and grateful for my country and also for all Africa.
The second edition of the All Africa Para Badminton had competitors from Burundi, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, DRC, Egypt, Eritrea, Madagascar, Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and hosts Uganda. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
And with that, UBC News Tonight, it comes to an end. On behalf of myself and the team working behind the scenes, I want to wish you a lovely week, a good night, and God bless you.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.